Okay, so now we'll get to our major result, which will give us a whole bunch of examples, okay, which is the following theorem. So remember, X is this graph. Okay, we'll explain this in a little more, which is alpha. We'll see this more explicitly. And the theorem is that pi 1 of X with base point, let's call this point x0. X0 is the free group on generators alpha and beta. Okay, so let's see formally what this is. X is mod gamma, okay, and gamma is gamma of vertices and edges, where V is just single point x0, and edges is going to be alpha, beta, alpha bar, beta bar. So this is just like S union S bar in the free group, and we'll make all sorts of identifications here so that the notation doesn't become too cumbersome. So we have X is mod gamma, and of course we know what the bar map is. It tends alpha to alpha, and I of any edge is going to be x0. There's no choice, there's only one vertex. So you look at the geometric realization, it is this picture, and the claim is this. Pi 1 of X, x0 is alpha beta. So we'll pass via covering spaces to do this, but just let's make a few remarks first of all. So for any graph, okay, so if E is in edges of a graph gamma, by the way, so this will be called E of gamma often. Okay, so we have a map, and it can be denoted chi E, but we'll simply call it E. Okay, so this maps 0, 1 to mod gamma, with chi E of S is going to be the point E comma S. Okay, well, more strictly speaking, the equivalence class of the point E comma S in the quotient. Okay, we'll just call this map E itself, so that is convenient. So we have paths alpha beta, and we have paths alpha bar beta bar, which are exactly as we have there. Okay, now furthermore we need a couple of points about the free group. Okay, so but first let's look at this identification here. So what we'll do is we define phi from alpha beta to pi 1 of X x0. And by the universal property, I have to tell you what the images of alpha and beta are. Namely, I'll send alpha to the class of alpha. Okay, and here alpha is a path, so it's in the right hand side. So left hand side is a formal generator, which you can think of as the same edge, but you need not. You can think of it as a symbol that just looks the same, and beta goes to beta similarly. Okay, so in this context, if I took a word here, so if I'm given L1 Ln, okay, so if I look at phi of this character, by the way, this is just going to be denoted from now on as just L1 to Ln. We are going to get rid of the parentheses and commas because we'll be dealing with these free groups quite a lot. So this is going to be equal to phi of L1 star phi of L2, because it's a homomorphism, star phi of Ln. And then we can think of Li's as are always alphas, betas, or their inverses. And if I think of them as just edges in the in this given space, I can just think of this as the class of L1 star L2 star Ln. Okay, so word is mapped kind of to itself or its equivalence class, and if I have cancelling elements, I'll get a homotopic word. So things are fine in this case. Okay, so we'll have to construct a cover and so on with this. Okay, so this and we'll use that to show that this map is actually an isomorphism. So it's similar to S1 is R, but it has some extra ingredients which are interesting and important in their own right. Okay, so here we have X, and here we have these things. Just a comment that you could work with a free group on n generators, or indeed on an arbitrary set. Okay, so we introduce an important concept on words. So free group, a word is said to be reduced if no two adjacent letters are inverses of each other. Okay, so an example of a not reduced is if I have alpha beta, beta bar, alpha bar, alpha beta. Okay, so this is not reduced. This is not reduced in a sense for several reasons. I've deliberately taken such a word. These two are inverses of each other. These two are inverses of each other. Okay. So it's not reduced. But now, given any reduced word, we can given any word which is not necessarily reduced, we can reduce it. So every word W in our set W, so I'll just call it L1 Ln, is equivalent under our equivalence relation to a reduced word. And the proof is just keep cancelling. So if it's not a reduced word, then there is a pair which are adjacent to each other and they are inverses of each other, so I can keep cancelling. For example, here I could cancel alpha and alpha bar. I could cancel these two and I'll get alpha beta bar, and so these two got cancelled, and then beta, and then I can further cancel maybe these two betas and beta bar, and then I just get alpha beta. Okay, so I get, so this is a reduced word, and these are all equivalent to it. So, but well, a question you would like to know is whether this is unique. It's not obvious that it's unique. So that's first thing I will emphasize. And there are other contexts like Coxeter groups and so on where reduced words are not unique. Okay, because for example, I cancelled these two, but I could have instead cancelled these two first, and then I get alpha bar, alpha and beta, and that makes possible cancelling these two, and then I get alpha beta here. Now these two happen to be equal, but the thing is that because of this cancellation, this became possible. It's not just that I reordered. I have genuinely different cancellations. Final result is the same. This is a theorem of Nielsen, which we will prove topologically as a byproduct of what we do. Okay, so here we have the set of reduced words, and we construct a tree. Okay, we construct something. So we construct graph gamma. Okay, and this is gamma of EV. Okay, with mod gamma is going to be what we call x tilde. So let's call this also gamma tilde. Gamma was our original graph, say, and we'll construct a map, and then we'll get a covering. So the point of that digression with graphs is that it's easy to verify it's a covering. We have a combinatorial criterion for covering. It's a graph morphism, which is an injection on all links. And what is this graph? This graph looks like the following. I have E here, and then adjacent to this I have all the single letter words, alpha beta, alpha bar and beta bar, and adjacent to alpha I further have two letter words which are reduced. So I can go to beta. So this is again, this is alpha alpha. Okay, and this guy is going to be alpha beta bar, and this is going to be alpha beta. On the other hand, alpha bar is E itself, so you imagine you have to go back when you get alpha bar. So this vertex becomes 4-valent. Similarly, we extend here, and we extend here, and we extend here. Okay, so you can see clearly what we are going to do. We are going to have an element for each reduced word as a vertex, and that's because you can always go back, and so you want exactly 4-valent graph which is supposed to be covering this guy, remember. Okay, we'll look at links a little more carefully when we talk about the covering, but now what's the set? V tilde is simply L1 ln Li reduced word. And let me be explicit here, this is reduced word in alpha, beta, alpha bar and beta bar. So it's a string of letters with no cancellation here. Okay, and E tilde, well, just like with real numbers where we had to have, remember, rightward edges and leftward edges, I'll just break it up as E tilde plus union E tilde minus, and in fact disjoint union of these two, where E tilde plus is going to be something like this, and the way we characterize this is this is going to be equal to L1 ln L1, maybe this is too small, I'm trying to save space. Let's keep things mobile friendly by making it a little larger. So E plus tilde is, I'll write it in brief, it's W and W lambda, where lambda is one of a single letter and with the key condition that W, W lambda are both reduced. Okay, and this guy is going to be the initial vertex. So the initial vertex of W, W lambda is this, and then we could have them in the reverse order. So these are, for example, the outward edges here. Okay, but then I also need the opposite orientation where you're going towards the origin. So this is going to be equal to W lambda comma W, where again lambda belongs to the same thing. The condition is exactly the same, but we reverse just W lambda and W. So these are outward edges and these are inward edges. Okay, so this gives me a graph. So if you wish to be fully explicit, of course I should also say W, W lambda bar is going to be W lambda W and vice versa, and I of W, W lambda is going to be W, and I of W lambda W, this guy. So strictly speaking, I of this pair is W, is going to be W lambda. So the first one is always the initial vertex. Okay, so this gives you a picture, what is called a Cayley graph. Okay, so I can label vertices here, alpha, and we are going to study this a lot. Okay, in particular we'll see that this deformation retracts to a point, what is called contractible. That will be the big step next, but let us first do the easy thing. The easy thing is going to be that we are going to construct a covering to X from these guys. Okay, it's easy because we already did the work. So namely our X tilde is going to be mod gamma tilde. Okay, and then X is mod gamma, which we had here. Okay, so we know how to construct coverings. We construct a graph morphism. We construct a graph morphism, and this is determined by the following. Okay, so of course any vertex V in V tilde maps to X0. There's no choice here. There's only one vertex in the target. So we have this space. And how about an edge? So if I look at W, W tilde, lambda, this maps to lambda. So remember, this is one of alpha, beta, alpha bar, and beta bar. Okay. So again in our graph picture, so we have the edge vertex E. All the vertices are going to map to the origin. Here's alpha. Here's beta, here's alpha bar, and here's beta bar. And a more typical example would be something that starts at the reduced word alpha and maybe goes on to alpha alpha, or it goes on to alpha beta. Let's make this a little more symmetric, and so it goes on from here. Okay, so reduced word is going to be, for example, alpha alpha beta, this guy. This edge will map to beta, which is just the last letter in it. And of course that will also forces W lambda W to map to, well, let's see, it has, so W lambda is going to be W lambda bar. Okay, so this is going to map to lambda bar, and that's natural because if you go towards the origin, so this edge is going to be alpha. The edge going outwards here is going to map to alpha, and this edge going backwards is going to map to alpha bar. So the labels are exactly what you are mapping to. On the other hand, if you go outwards in the alpha direction, you map to alpha bar, and you come back across that, you map to alpha. Okay, so this gives us a map. And what do we know? So of course, so by construction, this is a graph morphism. And let's check the condition on the links. Okay, so let's look at link in X0, or perhaps my notation, I should say link in gamma of X0. Well, what is that? That is the set of all. So picture wise, it's all ways of exiting X0, and there are 4 ways. You can exit up or down on alpha and alpha beta, but more formally, it's simply edges which are incident on alpha. So they're going to be alpha, beta, alpha bar, and beta bar. I mean, sorry, incident meaning their initial value is X0. Everything has initial value X0. So this link has 4 vertices. Now, if I took a word W Okay, so let's look at W. If W is, let's say, L1, so first let's dispose of the easy case, maybe, or the anyway the non-generic case. Suppose I look at link in gamma tilde of E. Okay, so those are going to be things of the form E lambda, where lambda is reduced. Okay, E lambda has initial vertex, so W lambda is never going to be E because it's reduced and it has at least one letter. So only way in which you can have initial value E is this is going to be E lambda. Okay, which is just lambda. So it's E is E lambda. So link of E is E lambda, and lambda belongs to alpha, beta, alpha bar, beta bar. And as we see above, so this is exactly equal to this, and in fact the induced morphisms, so let's give this a name phi. Okay, and so we see that phi E mapping link in gamma tilde of E to link of x0 in gamma, sorry, I should say link in gamma of x0 is a bijection. Okay, you see these goes to these. And now if I took a general word, so if W was equal to L1 Ln, and let's take Ln is alpha, just for definiteness. So without loss of generality, you can consider other cases the same way. Okay, then what is the link in gamma tilde of W? Well, here let's take, for example, something ending with alpha like this one. Well, you see we have three outward guys where I extend alpha by either alpha itself, beta or beta bar, but not by alpha bar, otherwise it would not be reduced. Okay, so it's going to be W and W alpha, W and W beta, W and W beta bar. Okay, and finally we have another way of coming to alpha, namely I could take the previous word, which is I look at L1 Ln minus 1 and L1 Ln. This is W. Okay, but this does not have initial value alpha, so I have to correct myself. Instead, what we have is we have to start with W, which is L1 Ln, and then go on to L1 L2 Ln minus 1. Okay, so this is going to be L1. So in this case, in the above form, that the word W is not really this guy. So the word W is this element on the right hand side, and this is followed by these. So these are the ones with initial value being equal to alpha. Okay, and so Ln is alpha here, and let's see what these things map to. So these three guys are contained in E plus, and this guy is contained in E minus. Okay, and remember these are all mapped just to the last letter. Okay, so if I look at the map from what we would call phi W from link in gamma tilde of W to link in gamma of x0. Well, let's see what are the things. So the first three guys, in fact, in general, anything which is not the inverse is mapped to the same letter. But on the other hand, this is mapped to the bar of the last letter. Okay, so these are mapped to alpha, beta, beta bar, and this is mapped to Ln bar, but Ln is alpha. Okay, so this is mapped to alpha bar, so this is also a bijection. Yeah, so this is a bisection. So from here, let's make the conclusion we want. So the conclusion we have is that mod phi is a covering space. Okay, so we have the combinatorial structure, we have a combinatorial map, and we have a topological conclusion from the work we did earlier that this is a covering space. Okay. Now the work we have to do really is to show gamma tilde is contractible, or rather the geometric realization x tilde is contractible, by which I mean the deformation retracts to a point, and hence its fundamental group is trivial, so it is what we call the universal cover. And once we have that, we can follow more or less the model we had when we calculated the fundamental group of S1. Okay, so our next segment will look at the contractibility of x tilde, because that is significant. There's more than one way to prove it, but the way we'll prove it is following ideas of Whitehead, because these generalize very nicely and they're important in many contexts in this kind of topology.